Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the February 22nd council meeting. Were there any changes, additions, comments on the minutes? No? If not, we'll approve those as submitted. Next, report of the town manager, Mr. Warner.
Thank you, Mayor Black, members of council. Because we have some esteemed folks we want to recognize, I'll be very brief. Just wanted to report that our new Director of Finance, Ann Cantrell, is on the clock and earning her pay and doing an outstanding job. She is also fairly far along in her pregnancy, so she couldn't join us tonight, but I do look forward to introducing her at a council meeting as soon as she's able.
Sounds great. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Warner? Right. Appearances before council. Anybody different? Okay. Council comments. I'll start first. I'd like to recognize Firefighter of the Year, Russell Stevens, and Fire Chief of the Year, Brad Creasy. They were named that, I guess, several weeks ago by Governor Youngkin, and we're so proud of y'all. We appreciate the service you all provide our community for many, many years. Russell, I think, was it 40, 45?
It started in 1974.
So, and Brad,
You're a teenager.
So, we know that you all are part of a great team down there that provides professional service for our community. We couldn't be prouder of you, and just wanted to recognize you tonight publicly and give you a round of applause.
Say one thing.
Certainly.
We have a meeting to go to as well, so we're going to duck out. But I at least want to take this opportunity just real quickly. A lot of people don't realize Russell, as he said, started in 1974. I was looking just today. He's almost ran 13,000 calls since he started.
Wow.
So, it's really unbelievable what he's done for the town and the county as well in his time of service. And I typically have an annual report done by this time, and I'm a little slow in that this year. But I just wanted to real quickly just tell you that, what the department does as a whole is really remarkable. Last year, 1,134 runs, every single one of them answered. That's 133 years in a row that they've never turned a call over. And you just don't hear of that in today's time. And when career departments are having a hard time getting applicants paying $40,000 or $50,000 a year, it's really difficult for volunteer departments that aren't paying anything. But we're still, we've been very dynamic in how we do that in our recruitment and retention, and we're still getting people in. And I couldn't be prouder of the department. So, and I appreciate your support as a council. So thank you.
Anybody got any comments while they're here?
Oh, I want to congratulate Russell Stevens on being named a Firefighter of the Year, Brad Creasy on being named Firefighter of the Year. You guys have done an excellent service throughout the years. Russell, every time I needed to have a bonfire for anything, Russell's always been pretty good in helping out with that. But all I can say is keep up the great work, and thank you for everything you've done for us and the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bruce? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm not going to try to gild the lily. Great guys, we appreciate you, always. And I know you'd appreciate money more than you would.
I'm not going to say a whole lot to either one of y'all, but I will say, of course, my dad was a member of the fire department for about 30 years. And I could tell some stories that, we don't need to get into that, but that's why I say.
After we adjourn.
But what I am proud of is you all have kept the tradition of the Bedford Fire Department going like it was 40, 50 years ago. Just keep up the good work.
I just want to say, Russell, with your experience in it, you've been there for many, many years. You've been through a lot of members that you have taught and school and the way of doing things over the past year, since 1974. And Brad, thank you for your leadership to keeping the department where they're going and moving forward into the future.
Thank you, guys. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. All right. Real quick, one other thing, just to let everybody know, and let Bart know, I think I've given you the names, but when we talked about the Christmas decorations in the budget, and there's been some talk in the community about, you know, what we're going to do, what we're going to do there. So I appointed a committee, okay, of 4 citizens. Patrick Ellis from Goose Creek Studios, Susan Martin from the Bauer Center, John Hayden, who has been active in a lot of the Christmas activities downtown, and Wendy Witt from the new Electrico Art in downtown. And then Stacy's going to kind of serve as like a liaison to council. I told them, you know, kind of their charge was just, you know, we don't need to be up here figuring out what kind of Christmas decorations need to go uptown. Just kind of come to us with a recommendation. You know, if there's other areas in the town we need to try to look to expand into, it's over time, or, you know, whatever. Just that's kind of, you know, let that committee kind of work with DW or John, you know, whoever's going to run that. I know it's running through so John's going to be leading that. So, and then the DW may want to be about, you know, whatever y'all want to do, but just I thought let's get some community involvement in that, and so that's where we're going to go with that, if everybody's okay with that.
Sounds good.
All right. Anybody else have any comments tonight? All right. So let's move to the next item, report of council committees. Didn't have any, no revisions to the agenda. All right. The first item on the business is a proclamation for Todd Foreman. You want me to read that? Todd, if you'll come on up and
Yeah, you're proclaiming. Go ahead.
I'll come on up and read that. Thank you. I'm going to start typing these things a little
You got mine out, you want to borrow?
So proclamation, whereas F. Todd Foreman has served with distinction for over 7 years as Chief of Police for the town of Bedford, and whereas under Chief Foreman's leadership, the town of Bedford Police Department has demonstrated a level of professionalism and operation as well as a commitment to excellence sufficient to earn the nationally recognized and prestigious accreditation status offered by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, CALEA, a rarity among communities as small as the town of Bedford. And whereas Chief Foreman has modernized police operations, ensuring that all officers are fully trained and all cars are fully equipped with the necessary tools to serve the public. And whereas Chief Foreman has served as an able representative of the town of Bedford and shared his vast knowledge and professional expertise on numerous boards, commissions, and organizations, and has been called on as an expert consultant and lecturer at the regional, state, and national levels. And whereas Chief Foreman has made a major contribution to the life, welfare, and culture of the Bedford community through his commitment to community involvement and policing, which he both directs and models as a law enforcement professional. And whereas Chief Foreman's impact on the town of Bedford will surely endure long beyond his tenure with the town through policies and procedures he established and the selection and development of a highly professional staff. And whereas Todd Foreman will be sorely missed as a dedicated employee, colleague, and friend by the town of Bedford, now therefore be it proclaimed that the town of Bedford recognizes F. Todd Foreman for his tireless efforts on behalf of our community, and be it further proclaimed that the mayor of the town of Bedford, on behalf of all the citizens, thanks Todd Foreman for his efforts to make Bedford a better place to live, work, and play, and to claim status as the world's best little town. And witness whereof I've been here to set my hand and cause and seal the town of Bedford to be affixed this 8th day of March 2022. Todd, thanks very much. Bob, if anybody would like to say anything?
Yeah, I would.
Chief, thank you. Thank you for not only being an excellent chief, but for the work you've done in the community, for being a friend. I've never called you when I didn't, you was busy, you called me right back, but we always worked it out. But I thank you for that, and I hope that that's a relationship that we can continue. You know, I know you're doing something else now, but sometimes things are not just about police work. It's just about needing somebody to talk to point you in a direction. And I appreciate you doing that in the past, and hope I can look forward to that in the future. And good luck with whatever your endeavor is now. Good luck, and I know you're going to do great, and we miss you.
Todd, you know, we said something a few weeks ago as well, but mainly for me, just being a visible in the community, and not to say anything about previous chiefs, but it was, I can say I wasn't sure who the chief was at times before you became chief, and there was no mistaking that with you. So I hope we have that with our next chief, just getting out among the people and being a visible presence. So I appreciate all you've done. Thanks.
Well, Todd, you know, you've been a great friend. You've been an awesome person in the community or whatever. I remember when they made you chief that several years ago or whatever. That was a great benefit to Bedford when that happened. You know, you have really brought forward the community and the people in Bedford with your leadership in this police department and this community. And you will be missed, and we wish you whatever your endeavors in the future will be.
Well, Todd, this proclamation pretty much sums everything up. But I will say you will be missed. You not only made Bedford a safe place to live, you got out in the community. You got to know the people. Everybody in town knew who the police chief was. You were very recognizable. You led by example. And just wish you the best in your future endeavors. You will be missed, but I'm not going to, as I said last time, I'm not going to say goodbye and just see you around.
I hope we're not going to miss you, because I hope you're sticking around here as a citizen of this town and will help us. I think your example has been wonderful. You couldn't ask for, I keep telling everybody, I said, we got Barney Fife all over the place, and your police officers are kind and considerate, and they're not there just to pass out tickets. I've seen a lot of them just talk to people and say, look, you can't do that. And I appreciate that. I think your example is something that I hope will continue, and if need be, I guess we'll drag you back to it maybe. But thank you for being who you are.
Todd, thank you for coming out here tonight. Now, last fall around Veterans Day, when I got in my packet some VIP passes for the D-Day Memorial, and I brought you and another veteran there. Afterwards, I met in your office and said to you, hey, as long as you're chief, let me know if there's any more veterans, and I can maybe get them into the VIP section ahead of time. By the way, Todd, even though you're no longer chief, that offer still stands, and that offer will stand for whoever is the next chief as well. Thank you for your service, not only in the police department, but in the military as well, for everything you've done to make our communities safe. And we just need someone that's going to be pretty much another Todd Foreman that's going to lead by example, boost the morale of the town, and, you know, like Bart said at one point, we'll never be able to replace you. We may be able to fill the seat of chief, but you will never be replaced. And thank you for everything you've done for all of us.
Todd, and I had the opportunity and the honor to speak at Todd's retirement thing over at Bedrock Church the other couple weeks ago, and kind of want to echo some of those themes again tonight. Todd obviously had a very long and distinguished career here, and rose up through the ranks, and shows that it can be done, and that was part of his legacy, I think, as well. Obviously, Todd's staff and his professional leadership and the accreditation it was mentioned in the resolution, but that is just, I mean, that just goes to show how professional, what kind of leader you are, and your staff's to be commended. I mean, you know, they've taken your mentorship and your leadership and run with it, and we appreciate that, because I tell you, I can't imagine many small towns like Bedford that really have as professional and a well-serving police department as we got. I mean, I can't imagine it, and that's part of your legacy as well. You know, community policing. I mean, Todd bought into that philosophy of policing early on, and that's his philosophy, and he led with that, and it's been successful, and I think it's done wonders to help keep our community safe. I think really one of the biggest legacies Todd's going to have on this community is his relationship with the young people. I mean, Todd put in all kinds of programs, cop camp, you know, basketball tournaments, shop with a cop. I mean, it's just, it goes on, and you know, and that's where you got to start. You got to start with these young people. You have to build relationships with them so that they understand, you know, what the role of the police department is, and the men and women of the police department. And I saw in action, I don't know, it was a couple weeks after Todd had announced his retirement. I was out at Food Line doing my grocery shopping, and Todd was talking to someone, and this young kid, he waited. He stood over there and waited because he wanted to speak to Todd. And you know, I'll never forget that evening. So Todd, thank you. Job well done. Yeah, we'll miss you as our police chief, but we'll see you around town. And thank you for all you did. Thank you. Next item, Bart, is the resolution for the VDOT Smart Scale Grant application.
The town of Bedford, through the Bedford-Franklin Regional Rail Initiative, has been actively studying the need for and placement in town of an Amtrak rail stop. The preferred site, as selected through various studies, is currently along Macon Street within the Norfolk Southern right-of-way. Access to the site is along Main Street, a narrow street connecting Baldwin Street on the west with 4th Street on the east. Significant work is needed on this road in order to improve the surface and width for public traffic. One of the funding sources is through VDOT with the Smart Scale program, which is only open for application on even-numbered years. Current year 2022 being one of those years. Town Council at its February 26th budget retreat confirmed improvement to Macon Street as a priority transportation project. The attached resolution directs staff to submit the pre-application through the VDOT process. A more formal resolution of support will be required when the final grant submittal occurs later this year. Tonight, we are asking that Council adopt the attached resolution authorizing approval for submittal of an application for Smart Scale funding.
Make a motion, we adopt the attached resolution authorizing approval for submittal of an application for Smart Scale funding.
Second.
Any discussion? Like I said, I just think this project has obviously got several different aspects. You know, one, hopefully with the train station coming in that area, you know, it will be needed for that, obviously. But just as importantly, I think that there's some potential there, you know, down the road. There's land on both sides of Macon Street that could be opened up for future development. I think some of that is currently zoned, maybe manufacturing, some PRD tracks through there. So, you know, I think this is a good project, and hopefully VDOT will agree with us. Any other comments? Then we'll go ahead and roll call. Yes.
Mr. Carson?
Aye.
Mr. Haley?
Aye.
Mr. Hartwick?
Aye.
Mr. Johansson?
Aye.
Mr. Showen?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Mayor Black?
Aye.
Motion carries with 7 ayes.
Aye. And I think, Bart, we're going to try to have a work session before the next council meeting to go through some of the IT stuff in the budget. You know, that was a pretty big item that we didn't get through on the other Saturday. And probably go ahead and talk about the outside agency funding. So we'll try to get together at 6 o'clock on the before the next meeting.
Adjourn until March 22nd.
22nd.
Yeah. Do I need to do that, just adjourn to the work session at 6 o'clock? Okay, so our meeting is adjourned till our work session at 6 o'clock on March the 22nd.